What's up, you guys? I thought I'd do a video to something that I was getting, I got a question about a couple days ago. I thought I could just answer it out loud, like a lot of these videos. I kind of answer just individual questions. If it help one person, I think it could help other people. And that was, on these Total Gym Weider Works apparatuses, can you build muscle mass just by using these devices alone? And I think it's a relevant question since the gyms are closing. So they're opening. I think now I've heard some states they're opening, but I think still people are going to be either sketchy about going back there for a number of reasons, whether they don't want to catch a virus or they're just thinking about like how cumbersome it will be to go into the gym, and I don't know how people don't know necessarily how it's going to work. But I'm sure it's not going to be how it used to be when you go to the gym. So I know personally I'm going to be kind of staying and still working out at home just because I've been kind of getting used to it. And I kind of addressed this question before in a few videos a few years ago, or many years ago now, about do I use this device or do I go to a gym? And at the time I went to the gym, but now since I've really been using this and my free weights, I thought I'd answer the question. I think it's kind of a relevant question. And part of the person's question too was, or part of his kind of comments on why he thought maybe it wasn't a good idea to invest in this for his goal of for building muscle mass, was he looked at like examples of other people's videos online, and he said, they don't really look like they have a lot of muscle mass. I'm not saying that he was saying I did, but he was just saying that a lot of them, especially when he noted the Chuck Norris famous infomercial of Total Gym. And I don't think you really do that justice. Don't judge it by that, because I mean, if we just polled everybody who lift weights, you'd say the same thing about anything. But my point was, there's a number of factors kind of related that I'll get into, but I think they do kind of correlate to how to use this machine efficiently. So I think there are some takeaways to using this machine to actually build muscle mass and doing it kind of more effectively. But to jump to the point, yes, you can. You definitely can. Granted, personally, I still jump back and forth a little bit to my free weights. In fact, I might even do a little challenge just for these videos to kind of show that I think it definitely is possible. In fact, I know it's possible. If I just use this device, would I lose muscle, or would I maintain, or could I build muscle? I think all the above you could do. Could happen depending on what you're doing and how you're training. For sure, there's limiting factors. There's pros and cons of this thing. There's pros and cons of my free weight power blocks that I have, which are great. But again, general person, yes, you definitely can. The body does not know what the resistance is on the weight per se, right? And some people look at this device or Total Gyms and say, well, it's your own body weight. You're not using an external load, and that's true. And I think some Total Gyms you actually can low weight on there, but you get kind of creative, and with the angles you can get with this thing, it's a lot of resistance, a crazy lot of resistance for some of the exercises you can do. And like I said, the body doesn't know the specific type of tension, but what is important is that you are giving it some sort of progressive tension over time, or something that is somewhat causing a stimulus to the body. So if I just picked this thing up and I just started ripping the thing with exercises, or just doing like bicep curls, just kind of ripping it like this, and I did it for 8 or 10 minutes every so often, because a lot of these YouTube videos on the Total Gym and things like that kind of boast the fact that it's time efficient, which it is, because you can jump back and forth the exercises fairly quickly. And I think if you just did that a little bit, you might not see the results you're really wanting. And I think this is a number of reasons, because exercise programs aren't traditionally written for this type of machine. So people think of like sets and reps and like free weights and weight machines, but with this, they might kind of look at it and approach it a little bit differently. And you have to approach this the same way, because building muscle is kind of across the board. Building muscle mass, all it comes down to is sending a signal to the body that you're doing something consistently directly on the muscles that is telling the body, I have to adapt for this stimulus that's given it to me, right? The specific adaptation to imposed demands, right, is the classical acronym for this type of example I'm giving. So if I just did this for 8 minutes a day, something like this, fairly easy, not a whole lot of tension, that's not a big stimulus. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but even if I'm sitting right where I am here, and I'm going kind of slow like this, and I'm kind of concentrating on my angles and my body, also keeping my elbows kind of locked in, and just letting my biceps do the work. Even here, for me, I'm not going to go that many reps, but I can't go probably that much longer. But the point is, this is a heavy stimulus, and this is not cranked up that high. I could get this a lot harder. I could have a lot more resistance on my muscles if I wanted to. And that's the signal that the body needs. It needs that type of signal on a consistent basis for a number of weeks, number of days per week, and then number of years kind of compounded to kind of start seeing the body being told to adapt to these things. Will it adapt to a specific motor pattern or a specific movement, and maybe it needs a different stimulus? I mean, sure, if you have access to everything, I mean, that's awesome. But I can tell you, this does a lot. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to like sell these things. I'm just saying that you definitely can get probably majority of stuff done with these. And I don't want to get into the whole debate too, which I could, of, you know, people look at this thing, well, it's not really functional. Some people say it is functional. I hate using that term. Where people say, well, you can't build strength with here. That's a whole other argument we can kind of get into a little bit too. But simply building muscle mass, yes. Is it limited by certain body parts? For sure. Notably the legs and lower body, you can't do as much. I will do another video on legs. I think you can do some creative things with this as well. If you're just using this, not saying to be like a kind of have this mono focus just in this device, but some people just have this. So they want something kind of simple to use and they want those solutions to that. But upper body, definitely. All different body parts, you definitely can. So yes, you can. I think the big problem that people have is they pick up these programs, they're kind of fairly brief. They don't put on the same kind of force, kind of direct resistance on their muscles that it really needs to kind of grow. And that's why maybe they're not seeing the results. I'm not saying you necessarily need specific training, although it does kind of help with any exercise, just saves kind of trial and error. I think that's it. The only thing I'm going to really rent it out. I mean, one thing, as I'm really starting to break these things in, I'm starting to see, I don't know if these were the original stock handles that came with it, but both my handles are wearing both the fabric, and I broke through the plastic fairly recently. Even as I sat down in here, this has happened before. These things just nuts and bolts are just popping out of this thing. I might actually be investing in a total gym soon. I think it's going to be kind of a little more long-term, a little more worthwhile. Because I'm still debating if I'm going to be using the gym, because my time here has actually been fairly productive and efficient, which I've been liking with this device, which is why I think the questions you guys sent me, or that one guy sent them to me, was a pertinent question to ask. So if you guys have any specific questions, let me know. Actually, I'm just going to work out this thing in a second. So feel free to let me know. Yes, you can build muscle mass with this, and it's an awesome device, as I always keep saying, this or a total gym. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks.